Jason DeBias, I'm back. This is Wendy Jones. And today, joining me is actually one of my first guests from one of my first episodes. Actually, the first episode from Volleyball the Tuesday after, along with Betsy Flynn and Madison McKibben. This young lady, along with her husband, Kevin McColloch, former UCLA star, AVP'er, and bubbly personality, Alli McColloch. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jason. Appreciate it.
Cool. Well, let's get down to brass tacks. You asked about the kid?
Yeah, so I heard you have a little one.
Yeah, so she's 10 months old. Her name's Scout Sequoia McCullough. She's a tank, just like her dad.
I was going to say, listen, everyone says she looks like you, but I seen that baby. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
She looks like Kevin. Kevin already has a baby face, so the sample size is pretty big, you know?
You know, they do say that firstborn daughters almost always resemble their fathers, and if you look at it, it's almost always true. So
I totally believe it.
Yeah.
She came out looking exactly like Kevin, and she still looks like Kevin.
She does.
a lot of things, right?
Yeah, but she's been great. It's definitely been a challenge, but she's a good kid. She sleeps well. She travels well, so
that's huge.
We're blessed to have her.
Yeah.
Just like mommy and daddy. I think when you have chill parents, I think it's no accident you have a chill kid. I have, as you know, I have one, and my kid is like uber chill.
You pass it down, no doubt. The vibe of your household, for sure.
Yeah, everyone's so confused. They're like, normally, your first child, you're freaking out and everything, but Kevin and I mean, we act like this is like our fourth baby.
Seriously, well, you better watch out. That's how you end up with 4, because I have 4, and that's how I was with my first. So watch out.
Oh gosh.
She was thinking about. Listen, when you hit 4, you might as well just go for the volleyball team. You might as well just go for the indoor sixes team.
Yeah, you got to be careful in that first one.
I come from a volleyball playing family.
Yeah.
All right, so Alli, you took a year off, of course, to have the baby and do your righteous motherly duty. You played in 6 tournaments this year, right?
Right. I started in Austin with Gina, and then I switched to Kendra Van Zwieten after Seattle.
Right. Okay, so Alli, you played with a bunch of great partners. You played with Kelly Reeves. You played with Brett Hartchever. You're now playing with Kendra Van Zwieten. What does Kendra bring to the table that's not necessarily better, but or better, if you will, but what does she bring to the table that's different, that not necessarily separates her from your other partners, but helps you with your volleyball prosperity? I think that sums it up.
Well, obviously, Kendra's a smaller player, so she plays a little bit of the small ball game where she's got to have extreme control offensively and be able to put that ball wherever she wants to with her shots. She's not going to come in and bounce a ball by any means. And so she has to be very aware of the court and have really good vision. So Kendra is extremely good at being able to see the court offensively. I mean, most people pull on her all the time. They rarely stay up and block her, and she can still be able to beat them. Whether it's to their line, over their shoulder, the short little knuckles, she just sees everything. So for me, that's huge. Just knowing that I could set her, and she's not relying on me to give her a call all the time because she has such good vision. So she takes care of the ball just on her own offensively.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And that's something that's really hard to do. And it allows me to feel more comfortable and not have to worry about making the perfect call every time we set. So I think that's huge. And it takes pressure off the setting as well.
And serve receive too, I bet.
Oh, yeah, serve receive. I mean, she passes really well. I mean, she's so smart. She's a Florida girl. She can play the wind really well too. So we always are hoping for some wind. And that's big. Strategy is huge. She likes to play games with players. She knows them really well. She studies them. And you have to when, for me, I don't always, I guess the more I think, the that I don't do as well. If I come in aggressive and I come in and I know my shots will work if I come in aggressive, or if I just come in and hit extremely hard and beat the defender or go off the block. That's my strength.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's always hard to find that sweet spot between like the mental game and the overthinking, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or as I call it, paralysis.
You just need to dumb it down a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I call paralysis through analysis.
Yeah.
For
sure.
I heard that from Joe Rogan. He's talking about mixed martial arts, and certainly applies the same for volleyball. Alli, was there a breakthrough match this year that kind of, because I talked to you a couple of days ago and you're like, oh my God, I'm playing like crap, and I'm like, what would you like to do better? And you're like, not play like crap. So I'm paraphrasing, of course. Was there a particular breakthrough match this tournament or the last that helped you say, okay, I finally feel good about myself, I'm hitting my stride?
Yeah, it did come upon when we played Sponsel and Fendrick, because I've played Fendrick a couple times. I mean, that's the first time I've beaten her. She's a great player. She's really solid, consistent. Sponsel's newer, didn't know her that well, but I have practiced against her, and she's got tremendous speed. She does trickery things. She'll go over her shoulder, she'll set over. She's a great all-around player, and just in that match, I kind of got my little swag back, I guess, is what I've been kind of missing for a while since I had the baby, is just knowing that even if I don't have everything physically there all the time, I am mentally capable of taking over matches through my serving. I think from coaching for so long, my serving game is really good, but sometimes I just kind of, being a blocker running up, I just kind of keep it in, or I go for that deep corner, and I'm just like, okay, this will get me up to the net. So I really think that in that match, I found my serving rhythm again, and then I also found my vision when I was blocking. I've been struggling this year blocking.
Okay.
I just haven't been seeing it, and I don't know if that's like a physical thing, just not being able to jump as high as I used to, because I'm not physically there yet where I used to be.
Right.
So the way I press, my hands, not being able to feel kind of the same way, it was been a struggle. And in this game that we played, I really started just focusing on my vision when I was blocking, when to pull, watching the approach of a player more, and I was just getting so caught into just watching the ball, thinking that might help me jump higher, old school.
You're watching the ball. I teach my kids ball. I'm in Endless Summer. I'm the beach volleyball coach. I was also working with John Mayer at LMU, director of operations, and John disagrees with some of my philosophy. I'm more of I'm like ball hitter ball. Like, you want to see the set first to play the set over, and once you see trajectory wise on its making its way to the apex, then you look at the hitter. And then you go back to the ball, because sometimes the misshit or hitter body language, sometimes, like you said before, makes you think too much. Paralysis through analysis. And sometimes it is just a physical thing. You just want to get your legs back, and once you start getting those touches, then you find your niche, or where your maybe not limitations, but where your strengths play to it.
So, what do you think has been the hardest part about the physical comeback?
For me, it's time to train. Right now, I used to have so much more time to go and, get in the weight room and then also train for 2 hours in the sand.
Yeah.
Now I have a little one where, her needs are more important than mine.
Right.
So, my schedule got completely moved around, which is fine. I got a new job. I'm at UC Davis now, so.
That's right, Coach. That's right, Coach.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've moved to a position where currently I don't have sand to practice at.
Sure, I grew up in Fresno, so I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that alone has been probably the most difficult thing. When I was playing with Gina, I was driving, to Hermosa. Gina was coming to me, but when you have a kid, it takes so much out of you, so that the actual quality of my training was not very high, because I physically wasn't all there.
Sure.
And in turn, that hurt me. Like, I was getting injured. My body wasn't feeling great. My back from the baby. There's all kinds of things. Even though I was trying to do like all of my training regimens that I've done for years to keep me physical, keep me strong, that wasn't working. So I've been having to go more into like a recovery kind of training. Instead of trying to just do what I'm used to.
Right. No, that's an interesting evolution for sure. It comes with those physical changes of with age.
Yeah. Hey, I'm starting to get it back. It's just I still have to be patient. I'm still only on 10 months after 10 and a half.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Know that it's going to get back there. I just have to be patient with it and have to work with what I have right now.
No doubt. No doubt. For people on Facebook Live, you are listening in on us. Let's if you have any questions, feel free to just type them in. Alli's not shy. She'll definitely answer that. Okay. Same thing with Instagram Live. So Alli, UC Davis.
Yeah,
that's
cool,
exciting.
Man. Who's your assistant?
Currently, my assistant is Amy Buchanan from the indoor. She's the director of operations for indoor, so she'll be the assistant for this year. And then I'm still trying to talk Kevin into being my volunteer assistant.
Nice. Yeah, well, he's going with you, right? So why not?
Yeah.
All right. So I think all of the coaches who are building beach volleyball teams, as beach volleyball becoming an NCAA sport, am I operating under the presumption you'll probably use a lot of indoor transients?
Yes.
Yeah.
For the first year.
Yeah.
Just for the first year until we kind of get everything going. And then we hope to kind of merge into that hybrid kind of indoor beach players.
And where will you practice up there? Do they?
We're building courts on campus.
Nice.
So we're looking at building 4 courts on campus right outside of right on Howard Field.
That's awesome.
And those should be ready by our first season.
Great. Yeah, Davis has got a good vibe. Even though it's NorCal, Davis is going to have a good vibe for beach volleyball. It's just such an outdoor campus, and people are so active up there. That's going to be awesome.
Are they going to build? Are they going to build 3?
They're going to build 4.
Ooh.
State of the art.
Get out.
Yeah,
man.
That's awesome.
Somewhere out there, John Mayer is like, this is bullshit.
UC Davis they're very supportive of the program. They're really excited about it. Because, like you said, they do a lot of outdoor.
Yeah, there's a lot of grass. Yeah, there's always been a lot of grass court volleyball up there, so I imagine it'll transition well.
Right. Yeah. So Alli, are you going to Chicago?
I am. I'm going to Chicago. Kendra sent me a text message yesterday. She was like, "Hey, I'm signing us up for Chicago." So
sweet.
Oh, it's a good partner. Yeah. She's like, I wasn't asking, I was telling.
Yeah. She was telling me. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
She's like, we're gonna get past that night. She's like, I'm signing us up.
Nice. Cool. So
I will be in Chicago.
So Alli, fan question: who's the team that you always look forward to going against, be it whatever partner that you had with you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Everybody wants to play April. Like, at least in my mind, I would think that everybody would want to play April and Alex. I haven't had an opportunity to play them yet this year, but I always enjoy playing April, and maybe it's just the challenge of playing, such an incredible athlete, and that's what I love. Like, you always want to play and challenge yourself, and she's so fun to play against. There's so much fire in the game when you play, and her matching up with Alex, who I've known Alex for a really long time. It would be really fun to play them. So that's a team that I'd want to play a lot if I had the opportunity. It just doesn't ever match up that way with the brackets lately.
No.
I think I play either Gina or Kelly almost every tournament.
Yeah, it's like, I remember you telling me, like, the coolest thing about playing with Gina Urango in Chicago 2 years ago was you didn't have to play against her.
Yes, exactly. For the last, 3 years, all I did was play against Gina every tournament.
Oh, man. It's okay.
So, but I think she's always a good matchup. And then, gosh, I think I play the same teams almost every time. I played Janelle and Carrie Shu this year.
She's getting better, huh?
Yeah.
They're a good team.
Yeah,
it's just, there's not one team that I prefer. It's just, I want to play all of them. I want to mix it up. I wish there was a way to do that, but
no doubt.
Unfortunately, when you're kind of stuck in that same seed a lot, you end up playing the same people.
Yeah. Another fan question. Your preparation for some of the big tournaments, is your preparation involve more time training physically for it, or more time technical, or what's the chronology? What's the process?
It depends on how much time I have before the tournament. So if we only have a week in between tournaments or 2 weeks, usually I'm practicing probably 2 to 3 days. I hate saying this out loud, but I haven't been able to practice since, I think since San Francisco with Kendra.
Oh my goodness.
So
you sound like Allen Iverson right now. We talk about practice. Practice, not a real game, but practice.
I would not recommend that for people. I would recommend training 2 to 3 days at the minimum,
right?
Before going to an event and trying to win. But it's been hard for me to get in the stands, so I just have to rely on physical training in the gym. I try and keep my cardio up as much as possible, and being that I do the touches there most of the time, I'm not going to lose that in a week.
No, okay.
Yeah. It sounds like, though, maybe you're getting to some of the differences between that recovery training you're talking about and your traditional, what you've kind of grown up on.
Right.
What if you could highlight 1 or 2 of the things that look different in recovery training? What would you say?
Well, recovery training, I'll do a lot of yoga stuff.
Yeah.
I'll do a lot of non-weight bearing, the TRX, a lot of band work with my shoulder.
Yes.
I'm not doing any heavy lifting. Core work is huge, stability.
Yeah.
So it's all very lightweight training for recovery.
Yeah.
Resting, as much as silly as some people might think, making sure I'm getting enough sleep every single night. Mm-hmm. 8-hour minimum.
Did you hear that, Kelly Campbell? She's all about sleep.
Sleep is huge. And sleep with a baby, and sleep with a baby is difficult.
Well, not for yours, right? Yours sleeps like a baby. Mine too.
She conks out at 8. She wakes up at 8.
Yeah, that's the best. That's
ours.
Yeah,
that's Braxton.
Keep that going. I had that too, but
that's Braxton. Oh my goodness, cool, man. All right, so wow, this is only supposed to be 10 minutes, but thank you for staying with us so far. We got a whole bunch of people watching. This is actually on my page now. It's going to be on NY Varsity Sports a little later on that Facebook page. And, of course, YouTube's going to be on the total show with some highlights, stuff like that. We have something we affectionately refer to as the lightning round questions. If you remember, you and Kevin did this on my first show. You ready?
No.
They're super easy. No stress.
Okay.
What's your favorite sports movie?
Major League Baseball.
Okay, ice cream or cupcakes? I remember you and Kevin were opposite on this. Which one were you?
Ice cream.
All right. He was cupcakes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The last book you read?
Last book I read, I think it was a paralegal book for school. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's the baby to sleep deprivation.
Yeah. I was like babies, something for babies.
For sure, yeah. How to do whatever, which usually you just figure it out on your own. But
yeah.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Mental game or physical game?
Physical.
Cool. Game of Thrones or Walking Dead?
Oh, gosh. Game of Thrones.
All right. Ocean or swimming pool?
Swimming pool.
Sweet. You're gonna do really well in Davis. I love it.
She is gonna do really well in Davis.
I'll tell my office in the swimming pool right now too.
Yeah. And my last one that I always like to ask is the best life lesson sport has taught you.
Patience.
Like I said, that's when the lightning is followed by the roll of thunder.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course. No problem. Yeah, if there's any other questions, I'm always happy to answer. And yeah, good luck.
Yeah, well, a whole bunch of people are listening that just seem shy about asking questions. I probably should have typed in, like, if you have any questions about Alli, don't be shy. But Alli, thank you so much for joining me. God bless you, and I'm always loving Kevin, and I wish you nothing but volleyball prosperity at UC Davis.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, you guys.
All right, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Alli McColloch. She was a pretty good player, man. Got seated as high as 5th with Kelly Reeves a couple of years ago. Got a 3rd at Chicago with Gina Urengo, and she's back. She's back doing her thing. I thought Sponsel and Frederick were a big win because that Sponsel right now is a savage.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Frederick is Frederick's Frederick. Yeah. Frederick, I always say for a volleyball player, she's a hell of a lawyer. Yeah. You know. All right, so guys, that's all we got for this one, and at least for now, I'm Jason DeBilla. So long.
Wendy Jones.
This is Wendy Jones.